This entire world got addicted, not just to oil, we got addicted to money. And that addiction to, that's what happened. That addiction to money led to some very bad things. It is going to lead to an enormous amount of suffering. You know, I am amazed because I've traveled throughout the Caribbean throughout most of my adult life. And I have never seen a Caribbean nation quite like this. Just in a few hours of being here, the sense of community that you have as a nation, the way that you look out for one another, the fact that you've been able to somehow, when other Caribbean nations have gone through enormous strife and setbacks over the course of the last couple of decades, and you're actually importing workers from other countries? I mean, this is unheard of. What you have been able to accomplish here is something that other countries would give anything for. I don't know if you recognize the tremendous success that you're enjoying right now. And even though you may be feeling like there's a bit of a pinch, you go to my hometown, Boston, Massachusetts, you know, a year ago, our unemployment rate was 2 or 3%. You know what it is right now? 8.5. You know what they expect it to be in the next few months? Well over 10. And there's nothing stopping it. There is nothing stopping it right now. The number of poor people that my little company serves is skyrocketing. The number of, the first day that we opened up our telephone lines to allow people to call in and get that cheap heating oil, you know how many phone calls we got? 250,000 calls in one day. The number of poor people in the richest country in the entire world is growing faster than any other resource that we have. It is heartbreaking. You go into these homes, you go into an elderly home of a little old lady who cannot pay her heating bill. Now, that's kind of a strange problem to have in Aruba, but let me tell you something. You go into their homes in the middle of winter. Some of you may have been exposed to what it feels like at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. But I've been in elderly homes when it's been that cold inside the home, with a little old lady pulling her broiler drawer open and pulling a cot out of the basement and laying that cot in front of that burner door because it's the only way that she can get a little warmth in her bones as she tries to sleep in. And when you break the back of the world's economy, there's a lot of ordinary people that suffer terribly, terribly. And we all have this sense that there is nothing in the world that we can do about it. That somehow or another, when it comes to energy, we just have to throw up our hands because we are all at OPEC's mercy. Well, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I take that from no one. I take that from no one. And no one in Aruba should take that from anyone as well. Do you want to sit there and take that and just be at the tail end and whatever OPEC says is what you have to take? Or do you want to fight back? You want to fight back?
Fight back.
Do you want to fight back? Hell, man, I don't hear you. Do you want to fight back? All right. Now we got to get a little life in the gang here, Mike. To go win an election, we got to go out and get everybody kind of enthused about what the meaning of this election is all about. Now, I'll tell you what this is about. This is about the fact that you are sitting in one of the greatest paradises that exists on the planet Earth. And I'm not just talking about the fact that you have a beautiful nation. I am talking about the fact that you live in a country that has the 3 greatest natural resources that you could possibly want. You have unabated sun, Sun that people in Boston, Massachusetts, when they hear about sun in Aruba, they say, go get that sun cream and lather it all over yourself. Because you don't want that little Irish skin to be exposed to that hot Aruban sun. But let me tell you, folks, you can make a lot of energy out of the sun. You can make a lot of energy and you can make money. You can make money off of solar energy. You have wind. It blows like stink. I got off of that plane, and the first thing that hit me was just my hair went straight back, and I said, I love this place. You know, if you have, that's right. If you have the sun, and you have the wind, and on top of that, you have the creme de la creme. You have the ocean. With the sun, the wind, and the ocean, there is nothing that can hold Aruba back aside from your own vision. You, ladies and gentlemen, I run a company, an energy company. Almost all of the things that we do in my company are alternative energy. Now, we take a little bit of oil from Hugo Chavez, which you may have heard about, but I hear a lot about it back in Boston, let me tell you. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, that what we have to do is start thinking about whether or not we really want a society that is dependent upon hydrocarbons for us to be able to drive our cars, heat our homes, be able to cook our food, do the basic requirements of what is necessary to live as a human being in the 21st century. Now, I will tell you that we have thousands and thousands of megawatts of wind all over the United States and Canada and some other countries around the world as well. You have an incredible wind resource right here. And I know that you've already begun to harness that wind. But you have 100 megawatts of power that you use on your electric grid in this country. You're only going to take 30 megawatts or so out of the wind. You could double that. You can use things like rooftop solar. I'm going to get in and tell you a few of the things that you can do in Aruba to completely, radically change the image of what Aruba is throughout the world. This country is sitting on the cusp of becoming the first truly green jewel of the Caribbean. And I mean green in every way. There is so much that you can do. And it is going to be a fun, enjoyable ride that you are going to have a blast. You are going to make a whole bunch of Arubans a lot of money. You're going to make even many more Arubans a little bit of money. And at the same time, you are going to be, for the first time, completely independent of anybody else for your energy future. You create that kind of country. People will come from all over the world to see how it's done. And you have every single tool in the toolbox that you need to accomplish this goal.